Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Demon Slayer. Last time on Demon Slayer we had Cruelty, where basically we were introduced to Tanjiro, our protagonist, who led a good life in the mountains with his family. But one day he was late getting home, and so he stayed with a man in the woods because he thought that there would be demons. And Tanjiro wasn't really sure about that. Wasn't sure if demons existed, but next day, come to find out, yeah, demons exist, and they killed your family. Almost all of his family, because his sister Nezuko was still alive. However, she was transforming into a demon as well. Tanjiro wanted to save her, and however, a demon slayer named Giyu showed up and was going to kill her, but then Tanjiro showed some skill in trying to defend Nezuko, and then Nezuko actually tried defending Tanjiro, which was very interesting. And yeah, it seems very strange and something that a demon wouldn't do. They don't really protect humans. So Giyu is thinking, well, maybe there's something different about these two, and told Tanjiro to go up to a mountain to find an old man and presumably start learning about demon slaying. So yeah. I'm probably going to be sniffling and coughing in this episode. I currently am going through what is known as COVID. I actually got it pretty much right after I finished recording the last episode. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm drinking water. I'm taking pills and stuff. But yeah, so I'm a little low energy right now because it's already the end of the day. And recording kind of takes a lot out of you when you've got the COVID. So yeah. So, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Demon Slayer. Here we go. Alrighty, episode 2. I'm into this. This is nice. This is so fucking nice. I mean, I don't want to go off, but the episode I just recorded of MHA, which is season 6, episode 8, I don't know. You start getting emotional about things. This is a nice pick-me-up, actually. Which is kind of weird, you know? It's kind of weird because I feel like this should have all the hallmarks of, you know, something that can be a little too depressing, but I don't know. There's something about watching Tanjiro, you know, train and how he cares for Nezuko and everything. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice. And a feel-good show, at least for now. So, we'll see if that changes. Anyway. So yeah, interesting stuff. The first thing I wrote down was the basket. That was cool. I like that he created this basket specifically so that they can keep going during the day. And then, specifically that, you know, because Nezuko was able to get bigger in the last episode, she can also make herself smaller in order to fit in the basket. And she does, and yes, she's fucking adorable. Ugh. She kind of reminds me of Eri from My Hero, actually. I don't know, just something about her is just so nice and cute, you know? And of course, yes, she is a demon who can just kick a dude's head off and stuff, but I don't know. I like her. It's interesting. I mean, I guess the fact that she can't talk is because of the thing, but, like, I'm curious her level of intelligence, you know? Because she wasn't, like, a really young kid or anything. So, it's interesting how much she seems to have changed, honestly. Like, you know, she was around, she's around Tanjiro's age, you know, maybe just a couple years younger. But even still, like, she I don't know. She seemed like a normal teenage girl in the flashbacks and stuff, but now she's just, completely silent and doesn't really, even though, obviously she can't talk because she's got the thing in her mouth, which they still haven't explained what the fuck that does. But she still has the thing in her mouth, but like, I don't know, like she doesn't communicate too much. She just kind of sits there and then goes and does something. It's obvious she understands what Tanjiro says, but I don't know. It's just sort of interesting, but it's also adorable. So yeah. So I like that. She's a little cutie, in a basket. I like that. And it's honestly, it's nice. I will say that is something nice, because, I can watch an anime and I can get fucking waifus up the wazoo. You know what? I don't fucking need another. I don't need another, and I'm not getting another, because, like, I would class Nezuko in the same class as, like, Eri or Anya from Spy Family. It's like, no, here's just a girl who is cute and you want to protect. Speaking of cute and you want to protect, my dog wants in, so I better go let him in. Okay. I'm back. So yeah, that's how I would place Nezuko. And I don't know if we're gonna get any sort of waifu on this show. We might not. As a I don't know if I'm a classic weeb, just because I haven't watched so many anime, but as a self-proclaimed weeb, I am a bit of a connoisseur of waifus, and so far I haven't gotten one, because I do not classify Nezuko as a waifu. She is definitely just small, cute girl. She's cute, but more like in a daughterly way, or I guess sisterly way, because of Tanjiro. But, in the same way of, like, Eri or Anya, it's like, cute, but, not a waifu, Not a waifu, specifically. The problem is there's no word for that, You've got waifu for anime girls you wish were your wife, and you've got husbando for the same thing, but for husbands. But you don't have that for anime character you wish was your child, in a platonic child way, So, I don't know. There's no word for that. But if there was a word for that, Nezuko would fall in that, in a, parent-child, not anything weird way. I keep doing this like Nezuko is right here, and she's not, so there's nothing right here anyway. Anyway, we move on. So yeah, they fought a demon, which was pretty cool. Tanjiro showing a little bit of skill. He was able to hack at that demon real quick, which was interesting. And then here comes Nezuko, just casually kicks his head off, which was great. It's interesting they specify, though, not only Tanjiro's nose, but his head. His head is ridiculously hard, that he hit a demon who, I don't even want to try to assume what power levels are in this show, but it has to say something that Tanjiro can hit this dude with his head and hurt him, So that was pretty interesting. And then, yeah, first off, we had, Nezuko and the demon fighting, which was pretty cool. And yeah, the whole thing of she was looking at that, those dead people, and she was salivating. It's like she's hungry, but as soon as she hears that Tanjiro is in trouble, she goes to him, So I like that. She protect, she attack, So that was good. Now the question of, what do you do if she killed and ate somebody, The whole thing of that, first off, the whole thing of, oh, you're so indecisive about it. And it's like, well, it's his sister, But I get what they're saying. Now, the whole thing of, she can never eat an innocent, she can never kill an innocent human. I definitely am with that. Definitely am with that. But are we not going to have to deal with the fact sometime that Nezuko needs to eat, you know? I assume she has to eat something or she will die, you know? Like a vampire or something, you know? I assume it's something like that, but can she just get by? Do demons... I mean, maybe, because it could be like, you know, in Attack on Titan, where it's like, well, the Titans don't actually need to eat people to survive. They just don't, you know? They just don't do... They eat them because they just feel like it, you know? But there's no benefit to them. They can live forever and not eat anybody. So maybe it's something like that with demons, where demons, while they're attracted to it, they don't have to, you know? Maybe it's less that it's like, well, you know, they need to eat humans to survive, but more of maybe it's just sort of an addiction, you know? Maybe it's like wine or something, or just a good course meal, or just something that you can consume, but the body doesn't actually need it to survive, you know? Like, yeah, you can enjoy wine or beer or drugs or something. The body doesn't need that. You need, you know, water and, you know, protein, but that's about it. And I oversimplified that, yes, but still, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have to deal with that at some point. Is Nezuko going to need to eat, you know? But yeah. We also had the fact that you have to crush a demon's skull completely in order to kill them, which is interesting. So yeah, that's an interesting thing where, yeah, you can't just stab it. Like, I kind of figured it was something like with silver or something, you know, which is very classic. Or, I mean, it's classic to, like, you know, Western folklore of, like, you know, werewolves and vampires and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. It's just, you literally just have to crush it. But Tanjiro, you know, it's exactly what Urokodaki said, and I'm vaguely assuming that's how you pronounce that, Urokodaki, that, you know, he's too kind, you know, he's too kind, he's too indecisive. He needs to just go in, just beat the shit out of it until it's dead, you know? Whereas Tanjiro's looking at it, even though this is a demon who killed people and was going to kill him and his sister, that, even with that, he still doesn't want him to suffer when he dies, you know? Tanjiro is kind, you know? Tanjiro is kind. But yeah. So it's something that they gotta work on, definitely. Which, it's interesting that, you know, with the whole thing of like, well, you know, the two ways so far that we know to kill a demon, one being sunlight, and the other one now being crushing the brain, basically. Crushing the head. Neither really works with a sword, you know? And from what we've seen, basically, of Gyu, and some of the shots in the OP and the ED, I will admit, you know, I'll go ahead and talk about a couple of those just because of what we see. You know, the Demon Slayers seem like, you know, classic samurai, or, you know, a sort of equivalent to them, and they all use swords, they all use katanas, but that doesn't exactly do the job, as Urokodaki said. It's going to take me some time to get that down, you know? Excuse me. So yeah, but granted, we just started training, so I'm sure they'll start going into, you know, how to kill a demon, how to fight and stuff like that. So yeah. And then we had Tanjiro's test on the mountain, which was pretty interesting. And yeah, the fact that, you know, Urokodaki, you know, he can just slip away because his footsteps are completely silent, and this whole mountain is rigged with traps. But Tanjiro, being clever, while yes, you can run into a lot of those, and he does succumb to a couple of them because, as he says, he's not that athletic. He can overcome a lot of them and at least see where they're going to be because they were laid by a human, and he can smell that, which is something. It still wasn't easy, but it's something that allowed him to, you know, pull that off and pass the test, you know? So, and even with the ones where he can't dodge, I'm sure he might, you know, go in for a block instead. So all that, I think, is really, really cool, you know? I I really, really enjoy that. And yeah, honestly, I kind of joked about like, oh, so, we're going to get the Master Roshi style training. But honestly, it is, Honestly, it is kind of similar to that. But instead of, we're going to go carry milk. We're going to go bring milk to the town with turtle shells on our back and stuff, Instead, it's more, I don't want to say traditional, but more sort of folklore, classical training in stories of feudal Japan. And that's the word I was looking for last episode. I caught it at the beginning of, I just thought of it at the beginning, but a more, I guess, feudal Japan style is what I'm thinking of for this show. And that's definitely it. Now, granted, again, I thought I saw power lines, but I don't know, maybe it's just lines for something else. At time of recording this, the first episode of Demon Slayer has not gone up, so nobody's been able to correct me on that. But yeah, I'm guessing that this is very much a feudal Japan set, basically, for this world, and I really enjoy that. It's a very interesting look that honestly I haven't seen too much of for anime. I'm sure there's a ton out there, but I just haven't seen it. So I like this style for this show. So yeah. But yeah, good stuff in this episode. I'm excited to see where we're going next time, and hopefully I'll be feeling better. Although, I guess I'm not really, I probably don't seem too much different from last week, I'm just a bit more tired and coughing and sniffling a bit more. So hopefully next week I should be better, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be worse, though, so there's that at least. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Demon Slayer reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.